Car.
All right, let's see what happens now. That's Bodine in the black car with Wally Dallenbach. That's the first bump.
Okay, now he's in big trouble right here. Watch him come up and just hit the wall right there.
And look at the 45 just sneaking through. David Green, that purple car.
And Bill Elliott, several of the cars going down pit road. Also, Jeff Burton, 99.
A lot of guys with close calls. Watch it again. Round goes Jeffrey.
Yeah, and you can tell this is what the drivers see coming at this wreck. Nothing. You can't see anything. So if you can go down pit road and avoid those cars spinning, you have to do it.
And there is no speed limit on pit road if you're doing that. If you're going down pit road in order to avoid an accident, you do not have to go slowly. You can go as fast as you want.
You saw Ted Musgrave in the 75 spin around. All of this incident in turn 3.
You see Dave Marcus in the 71 down out of the racing groove. Now he backs up into the racing part of the racetrack. That is the preferred line. He's sliding in right there. Kenny Wallace in the 55 there just barely touches him.
Here's what Kenny Irwin saw.
Oh, I see. That might be the
Kenny
reason
Irwin.
he was in the ground. Oh, wow. Earnhardt got into the left rear corner there. You see Kevin LePage trying to keep it out of the wall. Makes contact there with the back of the car. Slides down the wall with the left side there.
Now we think that we're going to try to run a short time schedule because it's too hard to be able to run a full-time schedule right now.
There you see what happened to Ricky Craven as he skids to a halt near the entrance to turn 3. Here's what Robert Presley saw.
Well, that's Craven up against the outside wall.
Here was what was happening. Skinner into the back of Andretti, and around they went. Boy, I'll tell you, John took a lick there.
He really did. He backed into it hard. The whole back end of that car is about at the point of the firewall.
I think the problem is you're going so fast into that corner, you're braking so hard.
And you see Mark Martin already spinning. Watch him again.
He gets, wow.
Whoever hit him and then went up on the racetrack.
Let's see what Martha. There's Kenny on the inside. Let's see.
Yeah, there's Kenny right there. He's getting very loose there. Just behind him, Hut Strickland. You can see him making contact there. Mike Skinner on the flat part of the racetrack down there. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, Kenny broke loose first, and then the other guys got caught up. There's Jeff Gordon really woeing it down. Again, Hut Strickland and Skinner to the inside. Kenny Wallace to the outside. Look at Kenny Irwin going way wide. And Gordon just stomping on those brakes for all they're worth.
Oh, Gordon got by that without hitting anybody. Good job to be able to do that.
A group of cars coming off. That's Todd Bodine as he gets into the fence there. But I would speculate somebody touched him. That's a place there coming out of turn 2. If somebody really got near you and touched you, you're going to spin. Jeff Gordon barely getting by, and Mike Skinner off.
Here's what the caution was all about. You see near the middle of your screen, that was Michael Waltrip.
That's Michael Waltrip right up there into the wall. Hard in there with the left side of the car. We don't know. It was a little far away.
Right here, let's watch.
Schrader gets into the left rear corner. Around goes Elliott Sadler. Watch him back up the racetrack here. Never making contact. Oh, that's close, but it just barely touched it with the back of the car.
He took the paint off.
Single file restart among only the lead cars will be inside 10 laps, and around goes Spencer. At Chad Little's machine just behind him.
Just a little touch on the wall.
That's Jimmy right there. He gets a touch, looks like from Chad Little. Just enough to turn him sideways a little bit.
Doesn't take much of anything.
In this case, truly just a little nudge. And here's the spin that caused things. You had Sadler 21, Hutz in that white and blue car, and Terry Labonte in the 5.
You can see that Elliott Sadler got in the back of Hut Strickland just a little bit. He made contact into the 5 car of Terry Labonte. That set it off.
Here's what happened again. Watch this.
Wow. It looked like Chad just broke loose a little bit with the front end of the car, went up and got into the back of the 71 and turned him there. Now watch the 71 come down. As you come down the racetrack, look at everybody trying to get by him.
Great job.
Bobby Labonte goes by there and into the inside wall, Marcus.
Now, if the first hit hadn't hurt that car, the second one surely did.
That was a big break for some fellas, like a Bobby Labonte, because he was not far from being lapped by the race leaders. And that turned out to be a big break for him.
Marcuson is 860.
The caution, watch what happened, already in progress.
Yeah, you see the fire running behind the car there. That fuel pump line is knocked off there. That's really not anything other than just superficial fire there. It's nothing that would continue to burn.
Let's take a look at what Kenny Irwin saw. Watch Andretti just go right up the hill.
That's a second
Tail end of what happened. You see Ricky right there already breaking loose.
Going back up towards the outside wall there. You can see Jeff Burton just getting underneath him there.
Never does make impact with the wall, but enough for caution.
Tony Stewart looks like he was right behind Kenny.
This is the Home Depot onboard camera. Tony goes down in the corner. And right there, a little bump from Tony Stewart. Ooh, wow, almost in contact with Jimmy Spencer. And we'll see what. And listen to Kenny Irwin. Doesn't take
Area. Here it is once again. Remember, our first caution was brought out by a bump between these two, and the second one is going to be for the same reason.
Well, now there are 14 cars on the lead lap. As we watch it again, there the 28 car slides out in front of the 20 car and just gives him a little bit of a tap, and then around he goes.
Down here is the replay.
20 car, Tony Stewart, Kenny Irwin going down in turn one.
And contact. Around he goes, and Brett Bodine was up on the high side of the racetrack. Didn't look like Brett hit too hard, so maybe he'll be okay.
He did make contact with the right front against the outside retaining wall. We'll just have to see what kind of damage might have been done.
Once again.
Got 3 cars going down the back there. They were 4 deep for a moment, but Kenny Wallace was coming into the pits. But Tony Stewart had started down on the inside of Rich Bickle in the 9 car. The 9 car came down into him, I guess is the way to put it. Perhaps didn't know he was there. And around he goes. And here comes John Andretti with the wheels locked. Nowhere to go, and right into Bobby Hamilton.
Man, oh man. You see Kenny Wallace going down pit road while all this is going on. And there we see the spin by the 9 car. Now we see the 4 car sitting there stopped, and here comes Andretti about right now. Boom.
Got to get a face full of Andretti here in a moment.
I'm telling you. 16 car goes by. Watch, here he comes.
Oh. And the camera still is Craven's car. Here it is once again.
Well, Joe Nemechek also involved in that.
So is David Green and Kevin LePage. Mike Bliss, we're on board with him. He's going to have a scary ride.
Well, Kenny Irwin through there right on the outside. No problem out there because the wreck was happening down on the low side of the racetrack. We were talking about. Looks like he got a little bump from. Couldn't tell what that car was. A red car.
Looks like Ricky Craven. Yes, it was Ricky Craven.
Car number 50.
Now watch these cars go by on the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, Kenny Wallace just squeezed by.
Watch, here comes Jeremy Mayfield. Now watch Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah.
We need. Let's try this going in the 3rd corner. There's all that group of cars we were talking about. And there we see the 50 car just in the very left of the corner of the screen make contact with 97. And around Chad Little goes. He'll come back across the racetrack. Now watch these guys that go by on the inside. Jeffrey Bodine, Terry Labonte. Here comes the 12 car. Watch Jimmy Spencer.
Oh. To see a miracle. You see Bill Elliott on the outside there. Whether they made contact, I know this. Jeff Burton got into him. He went across the grass there. Now watch this. Cars coming all around him. He fights it back straight here. Never makes contact and goes right along. Now that's a miracle.
Another look at it. He was fortunate in 3 ways. First, when he got off into this wet grass that the car kept skidding along on top of it. Second, when he came back out onto the racetrack, that there was a little gap there. You see Ken Schrader way on the brakes, top right of the screen.
Yeah, Schrader goes to the inside.
And the third way he was for.
As he starts off turn 4, you can see the car just get away and hard into the outside wall with the left side of the car into the grass right here. Now he's in trouble here. This is very wet in this area. You see the water spraying. He gets on the quarter-mile track. They run the legend cars on and stops.
We talked about what is a time.
91, top of your screen, Andy Hillenberg.
Comes off turn 4, and all of a sudden the car just goes up and brushes the wall. And we heard Dale Jarrett talk about the front end skating or sliding off the corner, and then I think that's what happened to Andy Hillenberg. He came off the corner and just kind of slid that right front right in the wall.
It looked that way, and DJ was running on the low side of the race.
Let's see as they go down in the corner. Benson's on the outside, some contact right there as between Benson and was that Jeremy Mayfield?
That was Mayfield.
I believe so. That's where that 4-wide racing was going on that we were talking about.
And John Andretti, believe it or not, he's also involved. The STP Pontiac just cannot catch a break.
Derek Cope also in the car number 41. He was an innocent victim up there. You mentioned Andretti.
But there we see him making contact. Jeremy and the 9 car, I guess, of Rich Bickle.
They just simply ran out of room when they got into that corner. 4 wide at the speed that they were running. And just a little bit of a slip.
So once again, the cars involved. The 12 of Mayfield.
On to the backstretch.
Well, there it is.
Ah.
So Earnhardt tagged the wall.
Coming out of the corner, hit the outside wall.
Yeah.
Then Wally got hit from behind as he checked up, and the fellas behind him didn't.
Oh, Earnhardt just nailed the wall coming out.
For Brett Bodine.
Okay, the tire's flat there. He has the tire. You can see he's trying to stay off the wall. He goes up and hits. That's about as easy as you can hit the wall here at Phoenix. He got it turned a little bit. He stayed off the brake where he kept the car flat instead of going in head first.
Right front wheel like that, you're going to break the rotors. We see Kenny Wallace up against that outside retaining wall. He's keeping the car up there, which is really wise because we've got other cars coming along that he would want to go across the racetrack in front of those cars. And there we saw the rotor, part of the rotor. And here we see the contact between, I guess this is Ward Burton and Jeffrey Bodine.
Right there, the contact that sends Jeffrey sideways and into the grass.
Fortunately, he didn't hit anything, but he is in the pits. They'll take a look at everything, change 4 tires because he could have flat spotted them. Here it is again. You see Ward Burton in the yellow and black car down on the inside there, and just had a lot of momentum and I guess couldn't get backed off soon enough.
Well, he's right behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. and there he is up in the outside retaining wall. He had been struggling. He had lost 4 or 5 spots in the last couple of laps, and I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but I know there's a lot of race cars out there right now that says I don't see any cars around. He slides it, backs it up, and oh, there's the damage. Backs around the fence and comes off the wall.
Johnny Benson.
There we see Michael Waltrip's car up against the outside retaining wall, and Terry Labonte, I guess, has hit Michael's car. Would you think?
I believe so. I believe he hit the 7 car. Okay, here's the 36 car up there trying to get a lap back, and he got up in the loose gravels there and spun all the way down right in front of Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte said, "What in the world is going on here?
Where did he come from?"
Yeah. Wrecking in front of me, and there was nobody in front of me.
And another angle. Ooh, boy, he came very, very close to not only collecting Labonte, but also taking out Bobby Labonte.
Yeah. Behind the leaders.
Upper left of your screen. Well, there's Buckshot on the wall. He got up and scraped it pretty good.
Hard to tell what might have happened to Buckshot.
There he is, the blue car up on the outside of the racetrack right now by himself, and there he slips right up into the wall. No other car involved.
action coming out on lap 294. We're nearing the end of this race, but a couple of quick cautions have slowed the pace. We'll be back.